I just found out that Howard Lotsof died on January 31st, 2010. Who's Howard Lotsof? You're figuring to find out. This is a story about a 19-year-old drug addict who stumbled upon a cure. In 1962, Howard Lotsof was 19 years old. He was addicted to heroin. I'm going to basically summarize the story. Howard Lotsof went to his chemist because he wanted to buy hallucinogenic drugs. His chemist didn't have any LSD or mushrooms that Lotsof was looking for, but he gave him something. He said, "This is called Ibogaine, and I don't know anything about it." Howard Lotsof said that he was told it would take about 7 hours to take effect, so he took it right away. He got in a car and he started to go to a psychologist appointment. Within an hour, it started to take effect. I'm not going to go into the specifics of what happened, but he said 23 hours into it, the exotic effects of Ibogaine stopped and you're just left with exhaustion. He said to himself, "Why in the world did you take this drug? I'm going to sleep for 2 weeks." 3 hours later, he woke up refreshed. After this exhausting hallucinogenic experience, Howard Lotsof left his family home. As he got on the doorstep, something hit him. He realized that he had no withdrawal symptoms from heroin. He said, and I quote, "Previously, I viewed heroin as a drug which gave me comfort. I now viewed heroin as a drug which emulated death. And the very next thought into my mind was, I prefer life to death." The next person I'm going to talk about is Dr. Deborah Mash. She's a professor of neurology and of molecular and cellular pharmacology at the University of Miami. She had spent a lot of time studying cocaine abuse and cocaine overdose death. She talked about how many young people she saw suffering from this. It really affected her a lot. I don't know all the specifics of the story, but she had heard about this drug that people were taking and it was curing addiction. She went to the Netherlands and attended a conference about this thing called Ibogaine. This is a quote from Dr. Mash. "It seems that Ibogaine allows them to step back from where they are locked, to go back to a time in their lives when they weren't addicted to cocaine or heroin, to go back and revisit their mythology about who they are and why it is that they need to take drugs in the first place." This is a subject I can only give you the very tip of the iceberg about. It's something that you really need to go research on your own and tell everybody about it. It's absolutely amazing. There are some websites that say that it cures drug addiction in 24 hours. This is not true. It's very expensive. The reason it's expensive is not because of the drug itself. It's because you require somebody to take care of you like you're a baby. There are clinics in Canada and in Mexico that offer a service for 3 or 4 days, which in my opinion is not enough. It requires at least 10 days for you to completely recover from this. During that 10 days, there is a lot of time to reflect. How can I describe what it does? When a heroin addict is in withdrawals, it takes about an hour and then all of the withdrawals disappear. For anywhere from 36 to 48 hours, the person is nearly completely incapacitated. People experience what could be described as horrifying hallucinations. They don't think that they're going to die, but they revisit every single thing that they regretted in their entire life. Some people say that they went to past lives. And when I say past lives, I'm not talking about 100 years ago or 200 years ago. I'm talking about 1,000,000 years ago. It's very bizarre. Nobody knows exactly how it works. What it is it's from a plant called Iboga. This bush or shrub is in Gabon, Africa. The Bitwi people have been using this for initiation ceremonies for hundreds and hundreds of years. Dr. Mash was not able to test this in the United States. It's illegal in the United States. Why? I don't know. She had to go to the Caribbean. She took a number of test subjects, excuse me for not knowing the specifics of it, because she wanted to debunk it. After her research in the Caribbean, she's devoted nearly all of her scientific time towards studying it. She is enthusiastic about it. She is fully behind it. If you take the time to research this, you're going to find people who say that they were addicted to methamphetamine, cocaine, alcohol, heroin, and you're going to see one after the other saying that Iboga or Ibogaine has saved my life. For some people, it completely takes away the desire to use drugs or cigarettes or alcohol or any addictive substance at all. One thing that nearly everybody has in common is their outlook on life becomes positive. The best way to describe it is that they're put at a junction in their life where they have a choice. Of course, it's not perfect. What's the catch? If they go back to their old friends, the old habits will come back. Another thing about it is you have to want to stop. I've known a lot of heroin addicts, a lot. I think they're great people. I love them. They're your mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters, and I'm sure that you've met people and you said, I really like that person. I think that's a good person, and you never knew that they were addicted to heroin. Not everybody addicted to heroin is lying in the street. There's one thing that every heroin addict that I've ever met had in common. They all wanted to stop. Nobody wants to be addicted to heroin. Nobody wants to be addicted to cocaine. Nobody wants to be addicted to anything. Everybody wants freedom. Howard Lotsof stumbled upon freedom. Rest in peace, Howard. I almost didn't mention methadone. If somebody is on methadone maintenance because of heroin addiction, sometimes that can take years and years to get off of that stuff. Iboga also works with that. You may be thinking, what about the pharmaceutical companies and the chemical companies? They want nothing to do with it. It's one dose. It's not something every day, so they can't make any money off of it, so they don't give a crap. I could make 100 videos filling up his maximum amount of time about this. There's so much information. There's so much to know about this. The information about Ibogaine is a beach, and I've given you a grain of sand. I didn't even talk about Sarah. Out of the hundreds of thousands of people that I've probably met in my life, there's very few that I can say are so genuine, are so generous, are so kind and caring and positive and compassionate. And if there's a goddess in the world alive today, it's Sarah from the Netherlands. If you're curious about psychology, if you're curious about physiology or brain chemistry or about any of that, it's incredibly fascinating. And for those of you who probably say, junkies, they just have no willpower, they just can't quit themselves, screw them. Kurt Cobain put a shotgun in his mouth with $40 million in the bank. This is no joke. I wish I could tell you everything about it. I'm so enthusiastic about it. I've known about it for a few years, but I've never had an audience to tell about it. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's a gift from the spirit of Iboga. I really appreciate you watching. If you have an opinion about this, please comment below.